Hello and welcome to the June 2018 layout update for the Trent Valley Railway. In this update I'll talk you through the latest level of the layout that has been constructed so far. You can see that the framework is the same framework that I've used to construct the lower baseboards that I did previously. I'll also talk about how the next level of the layout has been attached to the plasterboard walls, grippets, and these are apparently the world's ultimate plasterboard fixing equipment, where you just drill, tap and turn. And then I will discuss what's next over the next few updates to come. Thank you very much to all my new subscribers to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. There's monthly updates, and then there's lots more videos as well coming up, which won't just be updates but other things about what rolling stock I have and potentially then running sessions in the future. So I've made some progress since the last update, and this has mainly been adding the next level to the layout in preparation for then connecting up the scenic level, where this will then be eventually where the station will be, with the fiddle yard level which is underneath. So if I just pull away these baseboards, you will see that all of this at the moment is not pinned down effectively, not screwed into the framework underneath, which then enables me to get in and out and also get in underneath the this level to access the fiddle yard, put the fiddle yard tracks in eventually, and also then helps me build what will eventually be as well a helix effectively around the very edge of the garage, which will then take the trains from the fiddle yard up to this second level. So I've just spanned the view round, so we're now looking back the opposite way to just a minute ago, and you can see that the framework is the same framework that I've used to construct the lower baseboards that I did previously. So these are basically the timber sections across there, and then they're attached to the wall on the right hand side, and then basically the framework is then propped up by some stilts at the very front of those sections on the edge of what would effectively be the sort of fiddle yard. And those have been spaced out appropriately so I can still get access in towards the fiddle yard. So looking in here towards the fiddle yard level of the layout, what I have done is I've made sure that the height difference between the lower level fiddle yard and then the first scenic level upwards is enough for me to get my hand all the way towards the back of the fiddle yard. And that is approximately, so to the actual sort of timbered frame that sits beneath the sort of scenic level layer is approximately 34 centimetres, and then it's around about 39 to 40 centimetres between the two levels from the sort of baseboard height from the fiddle yard up to then the next scenic level. So that is effectively the amount of centimetres that the trains will have to travel from the lower level up to the scenic level above. So from the garage door across to the back of the garage, I have built it in effectively 4 sections, similar to how I built the lower level for the fiddle yard, and then the number of baseboards is 4. So when I get to the very end up here, you'll be able to see here that in order to prop up the second sort of level above the fiddle yard, I have made sure that there is the spacing between that last post, which is there, and then obviously the wall for the tracks to be able to go around the back and carry on around the other side, so that I'm not putting those support posts in the way of where the sort of lower level fiddle yard tracks would need to go. In terms of the support posts, these have been added in underneath the higher level, and they're 45 by 45 mil posts, and I've screwed those in with just some brackets at the bottom to make sure that those don't move. when you may, for example, accidentally knock the sort of scenic level of the layout, but it is a very sturdy construction, as we're about to find out when I talk you through how I have attached the other side of the baseboard to the plasterboard walls. So in order to keep the space free at the back of the very sort of lower level fiddle yards, to enable the sort of incline and declines to be able to go around without having the posts going through the centre of those tracks that would need to get from the lower level to this level that you're looking at now, I have used what are called grippets, and these are apparently the world's ultimate plasterboard fixing equipment, where you just drill, tap and turn. So these come in different sizes, and I have used the red grippet for these. And just to show you what one of these looks like, it looks like this, and those effectively then grip into the wall. So when you put in the screwdriver into the centre hole there and turn it, these metal plates turn out and then grip the back of the plasterboard. Now what I also have in the plasterboard is a polystyrene thermal sheet, which means that when these grippets go and turn out behind the plasterboard, they become very, very strong as well, because they're not right up against the garage wall. They're also going into the polystyrene thermal sheet that sits behind the plasterboard. So this form of construction is very sturdy. I have a grippet in between each of those joist sections that go across, so you can see two on the screen there. And then what I did to ensure that all of this is level across is I made sure that I draw a line all the way along the plasterboard wall to make sure that all of this new level for the sort of what would be the station area is all at the same level. One other thing I have done as well, whilst creating this next level of the layout, is ensure that the electricity, so the plug there goes down in a gap past the board, down underneath past the fiddle yard, and then underneath to the very bottom section where all the storage area is, so all the cables can be kept tidy and out of the way. Eventually when I come to do the scenic section there, that will basically be blocked out with some sort of scenic building which will be removable, and then I can obviously then turn the plug on and off when I come into the garage. So one thing I've also learnt whilst building this sort of scenic section, the next level up of the layout, so after I built the lower level for the fiddle yard all the way around the edge of the garage, I've learnt not to attach the baseboard onto the frame before you've cut out other pieces of obviously your layout framework and also the baseboards. The reason I say that is you get a much neater finish and a much neater join between each of your baseboard sections. So I've used plywood, and you can just see down the bottom right hand corner here, that isn't screwed down at the moment, but you can see there that once that would be screwed down, that gives you a very nice flush finish all the way along, which then stops as well any sort of derailments eventually in the track, or any other issues in terms of the board's missing a gap, and then for example you then get ballast going down that gap and then you have to put filler in the gap. So it helps in the long run to make sure that always sort of build the framework first and then cut out the baseboards to the size you need one by one, and then sort of they can be joined up all the way along as you go along the layout. So just to sort of finish off the updates for this month on the layout, this sort of gives you a view of the different levels that I've been talking about, where at the bottom I've got my storage area, then the sort of second level up then from that is then the fiddle yard, so that's effectively the first level of the layout. And then you can see what I've done over the past month is add the second level to the layout, which will be the sort of scenic section. And what I now need to do over the next month, or maybe a few months, it might take me a little bit longer because it'll be a bit more complex than just building sort of the straight level layout is to start to build some of the inclines. So in previous sort of updates you've seen that I've started to test some of the inclines and some of the rolling stock going up and down those inclines, but the next job is to start to cut out some of the support pillars for the incline, get that set up in the right way, and slowly but surely it will make its way round from the sort of level where you see the Pendolino at the moment. It will go round twice to then reach the sort of scenic level where the station will be at the very top of where you can see at the moment, which is what I've constructed over the past month. So I hope you found this June layout update interesting. I'm making some good progress. I hope to make more good progress over the next few months to sort of be able to then connect up the level that I've just been building over the past month with the fiddle yard that I've been building before. And once I've got those levels connected together, hopefully we can have some sort of trains running on a longer circuit. So that will be a nice thing to have hopefully in the next few months. Thank you very much to all my new subscribers to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. There's monthly updates, and then there's lots more videos as well coming up, which won't just be updates but other things about what rolling stock I have and potentially then running sessions in the future. But for the time being, thank you very much, and I'll see you next month.